There's a lot of interiors at the moment are all like about sort of looshing about, and actually you're like sort of feeding yourself on a bed, like a sort of, you know, on a kagam. When we have clients and they come along with Granny's ugly chair, I actually quite like Granny's ugly chair because it has a story.
I think they look great.
Well, that's why they're so high up, so you can't see how badly they are.
I've got a neck ache, but they do look great.
There's that.
A lady vomiting
Well,
a tree.
I think what do you think she's doing? I've never quite... Louis always saying, what is that woman doing?
Is it important to you that your home doesn't look like anybody else's?
I think that's just my nature.
I'm Matt Gibberd, co-founder of The Modern House and author of A Modern Way to Live. In this series, we're homing in on the 5 key principles behind a well-designed home. So far, we've looked at space, light, materials, and nature. Today, we're focusing on the 5th principle, decoration. I've come to see designer Tom Bartlett to find out how he's transformed a derelict spice warehouse in West London into a magical home for himself and his son Bluey. We talk about how to use colour, how to arrange furniture and artworks, and why he believes the objects you live with should carry meaning. Whether it's a light made from Lego, an Ethiopian chair carved from a single tree trunk, or family photographs amassed over a lifetime.
Hi,
Hello,
Matt.
how are you?
Come in.
Good to see you, thank you.
Good to see you too.
So yeah, I always like coming through a small portal like that. It's like being in John Malkovich's brain.
Yeah, in the summer the big doors are open, so that would have been a grander entrance. But
Okay.
yeah, well, you have to watch your head as you come in.
It's good though, because you immediately feel that sense of kind of compression, and then we're in this quite dark entrance hall, and then I feel in the urge.
Yeah, yes, the top light, heaven. No, it's yeah. So it's an old warehouse that I bought when I was a bit too young, really.
You're old enough to know better now.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
yeah, and it was a makeup compact factory.
Okay.
Originally, but when I bought it, it was a spice warehouse called New Star Traders.
Right.
It was full of spices, and one story.
Right.
It was pretty much derelict at the time.
So it was a spicy job as well.
Yeah. So I poured this resin floor. I had no furniture. I had anything, and I lived in what felt like a kind of swimming pool for quite a long time. I was like trying to save up for a chair. And I suppose over the years, I've been here nearly 20 years, you know, I've decorated.
You're dressed in blue.
Yeah.
You've got a blue floor.
Yeah.
Your son,
Yeah.
I believe, is called Bluey,
Yes,
right?
that's, yes.
Your son's called Bluey.
It's not actually by design, that. It's
Is it
just
not?
a sort of, I think it's just something I sort of gravitate towards and sort of forget that I'm doing it. My dad's got a gold room, his music room, which is based on this, he's an Elvis obsessive, so it's based on the album cover, 50 Million Fans Can't Be Wrong, where Elvis is wearing a gold suit. It's actually really cool.
How cool's that though? But that's great, isn't it, that you can base a room on something slightly arbitrary like that?
Yeah. It's gold and turquoise. My bedroom I shared with my elder brother. I'm one of 5, and it was bright blue with very bright green sort of skirtings, and
Wow, okay, so that was...
I think we had matching pajamas.
Did you?
Yes.
Blue?
Blue with green cuffs, I seem to remember, velveteen. Colour is all about adjacency.
Yeah.
So it's all about what it's read next to, because if you look at a white wall against an actual piece of white over A4, you'll see it's a completely different colour, or it should be. I mean, there's a reason the Face magazine's on my table, is it's that sort of buffalo, that thing that I loved when I was sort of 16.
Okay. That sort of
kind
pops.
Yeah, that kind of constructivist, graphic,
Yeah.
kind of, I've always had a sort of hankering for that, and I suppose that does come out, certainly in my own interiors.
Yeah. So I mean, painting the steels in this dark red is quite constructivist, isn't it? But why have you done that? Did you want to sort of bring out the architecture of the building? Or?
Well, yeah, you'll notice it's only in this section. In a space this size, you always battle with impersonableness. Not that that's a word, but let's make it. So that's why, there are curtains in here. There is a felt rug on the floor. The seating is all quite kind of companionable. And, I wanted to bring that red in. This is the colour that basically they paint dining rooms in Georgian England. Right. That red. That's why they painted them that colour. It's because it made it feel sociable and kind of, cosy. We've done a project in the Caribbean recently, and you're like, it sounds very fancy, but you pick something in London, and then it goes up in the wall, and you're like, this is not, there's literally no relation to these two things.
How interesting.
I mean, there we had to do it pretty quickly, but we have to take colour to site and go and look at it there, and we always change it. So really it's about light, and it's about the adjacency of what it's next to, because that's why we have this annoying thing in the office where you have to have everything physically. You have to see it inside, you have to see it at night, you have to go outside into the street to look at these things to be able to pick. And you always do it in a corner, particularly if there's a colour combination, so you put them next to each other. And you have to kind of go like that and see whether it sort of works.
And you do it in a corner, why? Because then they're directly up against each other?
They're directly up against each other, and then also there's a shadowing in the corner that will change the will deal with the contrast between those two things, because actually you're not looking at that and that, you're looking at the line that goes in between the two. And then when you're doing kind of historic houses, you're like, if you're painting a white room, and this is what I learnt when I worked for those interior decorators, it's like, they were like, what do you mean a white room? And I was like, well, it's painted white, isn't it? There's sort of 15 different whites in a kind of, the cornice, this bit, the architrave, the doors a different colour of white, the skirting, because in the very old sense of the way that they did it. And it's quite fascinating that. And actually when you apply that, you see how really true it is that, and this is not white, this is a very yellow white in here.
Yes, it's warm, isn't it?
Yeah, which is trying to be, I think it's got about 8% of yellow in it, which is, when I went up, I was like, this is like custard. But then it isn't, is it? It's funny because I would put myself as a contemporary designer, I would have thought. I'm not, we deal with kind of historic space quite a lot, but we try and make things about the future or about sort of doing something new. But actually in terms of how rooms are set out, you want to look at like old drawing room plans. You want to look at rooms that have evolved and that haven't been sort of set by someone, because actually that's when the table's in the right place. It's through use that you kind of get to the end, and then if you're a designer, you look at that, you look at the way those classic rooms are laid out, and you take tips from that. There's no point reinventing how a table should sit next to a sofa, because it needs to. There's a lot of interiors at the moment where all like about sort of looshing about, and actually you're like sort of feeding yourself on a bed, like a sort of, on a kagam, like white kagam with your sort of pot noodle.
Yeah, okay. And talk to me about this amazing thing above the fire. It's beautiful.
Well, that is I think it's actually, someone gave it to me, and I think it's a Sydney 1980s gay pride flag.
No way.
I mean, in my house, not necessarily in my work, but I like things that are happy. This I made with my son. I don't know whether it's staying. He's really annoying. He wants to pick off the figures every day.
And play with them.
Well, he's just like, he
doesn't
understand whether, and I'm like, no.
It's amazing, you have to keep it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it actually doesn't give enough light is the problem.
Right.
But I'll have to fiddle around with it. I put in this long piece of marble, which is...
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny marble, isn't it? I mean, the amount of complaints that we have from clients about, because you have to have a marble, this is a tip, you have to have a marble that is very up for being completely mucked up by all the staining.
And when you say very up for it, what do you mean?
Well, it's got to be very, very patterned.
Yeah, so you don't.
So that you don't see because it's been great, but it's lemon and all of those things you can see marks up. But I quite like that. I like the sort of bits of life coming out and things.
Tell me about these lovely ceramics behind you.
Oh God! So I'm one of those awful people who, in lockdowns, started to. I built a pottery outside in my car space.
Did you make those?
Yes.
Wow, they're really good.
They're not actually.
Okay, well I won't. Maybe they don't stand up to close inspection, but from here, they look really good.
I think it might be the way that they're lit. This is all stuff I bought in Japan, and I like that kind of, and that's what I bought in Mexico, and I bought those in Italy, and that I met, it's the memory and association of things that I think is. Granny's chair, like when we have clients and they'd come along with Granny's ugly chair. I actually quite like Granny's ugly chair because it has a story, and it's these spaces that are impersonal and they're asking you to sort of do that stuff. You can really base design around emotion, and the idea of people, the resonance of objects and what people find interesting about and people's lives. It should be human. There's a vulture that fell off a perch at the Cotswold Wildlife Farm. And
what do you mean? Hang on. Rewind.
Age.
So how did you get hold of the vulture?
This man tried to sell it to me and I just thought it was so funny. I don't know, vultures dying. I don't know, it's so nice.
Yeah, they're not meant to die.
Yeah, I should know. It's just sort of like, I wondered whether there were other vultures then came along and tried to eat I don't know. It just made me laugh.
All the ceramics.
But they're from lockdown. Those are terrible, and they're literally my first things. I think they'll probably go in the bin. But
I think they look great.
Well, that's why they're so high up. So you can't see how badly they are.
I've got a neck ache, but they do look great.
There's that.
Is that a bat?
Yeah, this is an artist of my sister's who's a Canadian lady who does these incredibly intricate drawings of these sort of strange parts of animals.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's an old etching I found for £3 in some junk shop.
Really nice.
And then these sort of strange, this is another one. It's really weird. There's a lady vomiting a tree there. I mean, they're quite...
A lady vomiting a tree?
Well, I think what do you think she's doing? I could never quite... Louis always saying, what is that woman doing?
Yeah.
Kind of quite bizarre.
So tell me what you're looking for when you're looking at an artwork, because you've got some things in here which I'm sure are relatively valuable, and some things that are, as you say, £3 from a junk shop.
There's part of me that is quite kind of modernist in my approach, and quite a kind of clean, which I think probably comes out in my work, probably more than my house, but quite a kind of clean graphic aesthetic. I like things that are kind of unreadable, that have a sort of strangeness to them, that you have to react to emotionally rather than necessarily aesthetically.
What about hanging? How do you go about thinking about where something should be placed in a room?
I think in this house, for instance, there are various sort of good views, because there's quite a lot of kind of, and I suppose then I think about hanging around those things. There's small, quite dark works in that stair, which I painted quite dark, which I like the fact that at night, they're very lit. You might have noticed those bottles up there, which I've collected over the years, which are sort of 18th century Chinese.
Oh, are they?
Like some of them, most of them.
It looks to me like you like to kind of maybe place things in a slightly offbeat way sometimes, where you wouldn't expect them to be.
I think that's probably just my contrary nature. I wouldn't have. Oh, God.
That's good.
Yeah, I suppose.
You're getting defensive now.
No, I'm just crossing my arms.
This is interesting as well. So just behind you, you've got a collection of kind of 3 things. And what I say in the book is, if you arrange something in odd numbers, the eye is forced to take in what it sees.
Yeah.
It's much more interactive in a way.
It's like gardening, isn't it? You should never plant pears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And also plates of food as well. If you look at a plate of food in a restaurant, they always arrange it asymmetrically. So I think that's always a good way to think about things. There's groups of 3s and 5s.
That's an Ethiopian throne, They're quite amazing. I mean, it's a little bit tiki-toki in terms of the way it kind of, if you stand on the front of it, it will flip over. But it's made of a single tree trunk, which is kind of quite so carved out of that. But they're beautiful things, I think. I like the fact that it's constructed in a way that's completely out of the kind of Western idea of how to build a chair. It's actually incredibly simple in its way. But yeah, I like the idea of the fact that was, you can see what it was. It was once a tree this big. And also it's odd, and this room is a bit about odd. I always quite like this carpet and wall, same colour.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why is that?
I don't know. I sort of have a sort of love-hate relationship with carpet, and I think I now love it. It goes back and forth.
Okay, so it's in favour at the moment.
It's in favour at the moment.
As long as it's the same colour as the walls.
Yes, as long as it's the same colour.
Yeah.
Controlled there again. Green is supposed to be the most calming colour. I mean, there's that thing about eye theory, isn't there? That green is the easiest thing to look at. I quite like this kind of plastic wall. I'll turn the light on so that it links into the bathroom. So at night, that's quite nice and sort of,
really
glowy.
nice. Yeah, and playful and
yeah. And then he's got a big storage cupboard in there. I mean, it is a sort of tip. I should probably tidy it up, but
it's not at all.
It's
Is it?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me you haven't helped to arrange these things, because this is. I mean, he's got an eye.
Yeah. No, I think he's definitely thought about the objects, and I've probably then arranged a little bit more.
Is he into comics?
Yes.
Yeah.
So am I.
Are you?
Yeah. Me and my brother read a lot of comics.
Okay.
Still do, actually.
I do.
Yeah, I love graphic novels. I think they're brilliant. I mean, graphic novels, it's a fancy thing to say. But
yeah. No, I used to collect them when I was a kid as well.
Yeah. My mum, I remember her burning them all me and my brother, she got so cross with this sort of mountain of comics. And actually, she probably burnt away, quite significant collection of things.
So so when I got together with Faye, she made me take them all to the charity shop. So I think I also
hold resentment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no resentment there at all.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your son Bluey.
Yeah.
What does he think of living here? Does he think it's a cool place to live, or does he not even question it?
He lives between here and his mum's, and his mum's house is really great. It's a traditional London house. He sort of seems to be sort of wilder here in some way. Sort of his arms are more outstretched, and he sort of wants to be, that might be the nature of me as a parent, but he's sort of more whirling around. I suppose it's the space, I think he enjoys it. I think he enjoys the contrast, actually.
Do you think it's important for a home to have some sort of sense of magic about it?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's, obviously surprise is always a interesting thing. I think a bit of, I don't know how to say it without sounding, sort of wit is always quite good, and sort of imbuing a space with a sense of the best bits about yourself,
Is it important to you that your home doesn't look like anybody else's?
I think that's just my nature. It's just sort of a striperous, annoying man. No, I think I spend so much of my life designing sort of other people's aspirations. I sort of in some ways haven't thought about mine here that much. I mean, it's just literally a sort of...
It's a brain dump.
Yeah, I was going to say a vomit.
It's a vomit.
My kind of, but yes, I suppose, yeah.
It's a sweet smelling vomit.
Nice. Maybe we don't take that analogy too far. But yeah. So this is kind of guests mainly.
Wow, what a lovely picture.
Yeah, that's by my friend Ty Foster. He does these wonderful landscapes.
So lovely.
Yeah, it's Wiltshire, I think.
Is that early morning or is it sort of dusk?
I think it's dusk.
Yeah, brilliant colours.
Yeah.
Wallpaper, this is great.
Wallpaper, yeah.
It's really nice.
And then, there's this, which is kind of doubles up as a second. If someone's got a kid or something, they can sleep here.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Wow, these are quite a thing, aren't they? Talk me through these.
They are quite a thing. I sort of slightly done with them actually, but they are, when I went to Peru, they are literally the skirts that the ladies wear there. And they were just so sort of I had a kind of fluoro moment. Maybe that was my Ibiza years. God, it's funny showing you around because I just sort of think, God, it's such a sort of like collection of stuff that has no relationship to each other.
No, but it does, because it all relates to your brain and you.
Okay, well that's sweet of you, but I just go around going like, God, really should have edited a bit more.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? But I think you're right. You know, the best houses are the ones where you really feel like you get to know that person, and it's a true reflection of them, and that's how it should be. And even though, as you say, you're not so keen on the fluoro Peruvian skirts anymore, it's a moment in your life, and it's a journey you went on.
Yeah.
It's just so you. I think that's the greatest compliment I can pay you.
Well, that's very nice of you. So
colourful,
so good at compliments.
Colourful, faintly dysfunctional.
Idiotic. No, it's all of the above. Thanks. You can stop there. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tom. That was really interesting.
That's
I
all right,
really
was
appreciate it.
Thanks. Quite exposing.
For the psychoanalysis.
Yeah.